is that people don't realize there's freedom of speech and,
Right.
and freedom to petition.
Right.
And if people want to stay outside and voice their opinion or say what they want, they should be able to do it.
Thank you.
There's
Thank
way
you.
too many people that are everyday
Right.
civilians
You're
that
welcome.
got their panties all in a knot trying to stop stuff that
Thank
they
you.
really don't need to do. It's
Right.
a peaceable demonstration. They
Right.
need to back the hell off.
Shouldn't be using force to try to move us where people can't see speech, right?
It's ridiculous.
Thank you. Even if you don't agree with us, I appreciate you saying that.
You can't give me the right to be a human being. I'm on with that right. Now you can keep me from having that if you've got all the policemen and all the jobs on your side.
Hello beautiful human beings and friends, and I thank each and every one of you for joining me for another video. I really do appreciate all of your support. It's what keeps me going. If you want to support me beyond the much appreciated views, thumbs up, comments, and subscriptions, I have multiple crypto wallets including privacy coins like Pirate Chain and Monero, as well as ways to donate fiat currency listed in the description of every video. You can find almost all of my content available for free on multiple platforms, and I encourage you to subscribe to me on more than one platform to help fight the oligarchy's censorship. Now, if you are looking for exclusive and commercial-free content from myself and 20 other freedom-fighting activists, check out the Activism News Network on Roku. A link to it, as well as any of the sources I use in this video, is in the description below. Now let's move on to the topic of this video. I have a friend who's been wanting to head down to the mass vaccination clinic here in Spokane, Washington. With Jay Inslee coming to town last Friday, I thought it was a great opportunity to try to spur some critical thinking in the minds of the sheeple mindlessly showing up to get an mRNA gene therapy injection being disguised as a vaccine. This is nothing new. Even the vaccine manufacturers themselves have referred to this shot as mRNA gene therapy. These shots aren't even approved for use yet. They have simply been approved for emergency use, meaning in this declared emergency, the FDA has approved an untested and unproven as well as new type of injection for use only because they say it is an emergency. It hasn't passed the typical testing that is required, and because of this, would never have been approved under normal circumstances. This video isn't about that though. It's about the fact that speech is being systematically removed and censored in this land of the free and home of the brave. Within minutes of arriving and unveiling the sign my friend Dr. Plague brought, we were approached by security asking us to leave, and then threatening the use of force against our speech by calling corporate policy enforcers to use their monopolized force of the state to intimidate us to comply with these security guards' unlawful demands. Trespassing laws in the state of Washington state that even on private property, if it is open to the public, one has to be engaged in some unlawful activity in order to have the force of the state used to trespass them. This is something important for activists to know. It is extremely important to know your enemy, and this is how I handled them this go around.
So if something happens and we get followed out of here, and I'll take your sign and split, and you go to your car, and I'll just find Wi-Fi and hook up with you later.
Okay.
But the sign is obviously totally identifiable, so.
How you doing today?
Living the dream, how about yourself?
Good. I'm just gonna need you to move off this area, and you can go on the corner down at that sidewalk over there.
Why is that?
This is private property.
It's private, it's not open to the public?
Huh?
It's not open to the public?
The sidewalk is.
But not this?
No, sir.
Can you, don't our tax dollars go towards supporting this?
So the people that rent, when it gets rented out,
Right.
it becomes private property.
I don't really think that, but it's accessible to the public, and there weren't signs.
It's
that said
accessible,
it's
yeah.
Yeah, so
you can come in and get a vaccine.
So I'm in the publicly accessible part.
Yeah, but we're asking you to go to the sidewalk.
Well, you can ask, but is there a law that says I have to?
Yeah.
What's
You'd be
that?
trespassing on private property.
Well, trespassing on private property, though, publicly accessible property, in order to be trespassed from it, you have to be breaking a law.
If
And I'm
we
not
ask
breaking-
you to leave the property,
But it's a publicly accessible property. It's
but if
not a
anybody is
private
not
property.
following the rules, we can ask them to leave.
If it's not publicly accessible, that changes the rules. So once I go inside those doors, then you're correct. Because
This is all part of the same property.
No,
right
sir,
here.
because that's the security point there. So that's where the rules change, is once you go inside
This
the
whole
security.
property here is part of this building here.
So, I mean, here's the deal. It's publicly accessible. So if you want, well, we're just here for speech. We're not hurting it. Listen, we're not hurting anyone. We've done nothing to hurt anyone. We're not going to. We're not going to damage any property. If you'd like, the way to properly have us trespass would be to call the authorities. Now, that means you're gonna have force threatened against us for the use of speech. So that's on your ethics if you want to do that.
I just need you to move over to the sidewalk down there.
What's the difference if we do it right here? Who are we
The
bothering?
sidewalk
There's
is
sidewalk down there too.
not.
There's sidewalk right here. There's plenty of it. There's social distancing, everything. I mean, everything you guys are looking for.
Yeah, but the sidewalk isn't part of this property, so that's all
Well,
we're
technically it is. I mean, if you want to get out the map, I can show you on GIS. It goes all the way to the street, but there's also an easement. But this is publicly accessible. So if you want me to
sidewalk
leave,
is a spot if you
you're going to
wanna
have
go
to use some kind of force to stop us from speech if you're going to want us to leave from a publicly accessible area.
We can call somebody, but I'm just asking, if you just go to the sidewalk, we're not going to call anybody.
But I'm saying I don't need to because that's against the law.
It's not.
I don't believe in your silly laws of using force against people that haven't done anything, but you're the one that's choosing to use force against people that are only using speech. That's on you.
I'm just asking you to move to the proper area. If
You've
not,
asked.
then we'll
You've
have
asked.
to
You've asked,
get
and
you to
I've
move.
broken no law.
Well, this is private property, but yes.
Yeah, but it's publicly accessible. So if it's private, there would be a sign where I walked in over there that said it's unaccessible. There would be a sign that says, you know, private property, no public access, or, you know, something that limits my access. But there wasn't, and the guy over there just let us in. So there was no limiting of access. Now that looks like a security gate there, and there's rules up. Now that looks like that's the delineation. Now there's no more public access. You have to have special privileges to get beyond there, right?
No, that's just making sure. That's just checking to see if
So
you have an
anyway, like
appointment.
the building's open to the public today.
You have an appointment, yeah. You can go make
Oh,
an
so
appointment. you can get a vaccine.
that's my point though. So to get into the building, I have to have an appointment, right?
Do you have an appointment?
I'm not answering any questions about it. I'm asking you to get into the building. Do I have to have an appointment, or can anyone just walk in?
You have an appointment. You can come on in. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
to get an appointment. So again, that's the stipulation that makes it so it's not private, right?
Organization?
Right?
The whole area is under the same jurisdiction.
No, the whole area is open to the public.
whole parking lot is the
then
same
you would
thing
need,
as the
you would
arena.
need your people right there that are taking appointments would need to be there because the whole thing is open to the public. That's not how it works, dude.
You can come in and.
So
you
like
can
when I go to
schedule.
the Bon Marché, it's open to the public, right? I can go in there. Do you realize they cannot trespass me from an open area like that because unless I break a law, like unless I'm disturbing the peace, doing something like that, or harassing people that's an actual violation of a law, they can't have me trespassed from there. That's how it
Just
works.
asking to move to the sidewalk, which is the public area.
No,
to
you're
protest.
asking, and I'm asking you nicely to stop asking me because I'm telling you I'm not going to.
When's
We're fine to do it
showing
here.
up and where's he going to be? Do you guys
So
know?
there you go.
So,
You can check out questionable. You can check out questionable authority on YouTube here. Here,
I'm protesting back. That's up to people, but
here you go. It'll be on some of these places later, listed online at those places. I mean, I just think it's kind of funny. You're just out here trying to bully us to leave, threatening violence against us. That's what you're doing if you're calling cops, is that's violence. That's all they're going to do is show up with guns and use force to convince us to leave, rather than
I'm gonna let you know that the
just
public,
speech.
if you want to protest, you just got to do it on the sidewalk.
It's
That's all
publicly
they're letting you know.
accessible, dude. Show me the law where it says I can't, because everything that is governed by the state has an RCW or a code associated with it. That's how we know they can enforce it. So if this was a private place that wasn't publicly accessible, there would be a sign somewhere that says you can't come in here, and here's the code so when law enforcement shows up, they know, oh yeah, here we got to keep these people out.
Just asking you to go to the sidewalk. That's all.
You've already asked, and I've already said I'm not gonna. So there you go. I don't understand what we're hurting, why we have to go over there.
It is actually private property, and I just confirmed that, so we'll just go ahead and let them do what they gotta do. They're on their way to take care of it.
Cool.
Okay, I'm going to stop this real quick because we just heard her come up and tell us this is indeed private property. I checked. Now they're trying to use force to stop our speech, and yes, it may be considered private property at the moment since it's being rented by some organization that wants to give us these mRNA gene therapy injections. However, the premises and everything outside of the building is open to the public. I observed people riding bikes around and walking around without going into the building. So I want to read to you the defenses for criminal trespass in the state of Washington. It's RCW 9A.52.090. Subsection 2 reads, in any prosecution under RCW 9A.52.070 and 9A.52.080, it is a defense that the premises were at the time open to members of the public and the actor complied with all lawful conditions imposed on access to or remaining on the premises. So right there, it shows it doesn't matter if it's public or private property. The key is if it's open and accessible to the public, which this parking lot was. What I'm going to read to you next are some definitions which include public accommodations and private properties that are open to the public. RCW 49.60.040, subsection 2. Any place of public resort, accommodation, assemblage, or amusement includes but is not limited to any place licensed or unlicensed, kept for gain, hire, or reward, or where charges are made for admission, service, occupancy, or the use of any property or facilities. Whether conducted for the entertainment, housing, or lodging of transient guests, or for the benefit, use, or accommodation of those seeking health, recreation, or rest, or for the burial or other disposition of human remains, or for the sale of goods, merchandise, services, or personal property, or for rendering of personal services, or for public conveyance or transportation on land, water, or in the air, including the stations and terminals thereof and the garaging of vehicles, or where food or beverages of any kind are sold for consumption on the premises, or where public amusement, entertainment, sports, or recreation of any kind is offered with or without charge, or where medical service or care is made available, or where the public gathers, congregates, or assembles for amusement, recreation, or public purposes, or public halls, public elevators, and public washrooms of buildings and structures occupied by 2 or more tenants, or by the owner and 1 or more tenant, or any public library or educational institution, or schools of special instruction, or nursery schools, or daycare centers, or children's camps. So those are the definitions of a public accommodation. I'm pretty sure this venue fits inside of that definition. There, we'll just pull up the trespassing law here.
You know what the problem with all this shit is that people don't realize there's freedom of speech and,
Right.
and freedom to petition.
Right.
And if people want to stay outside and voice their opinion or say what they want, they should be able to do it.
Thank you.
There's
Thank
way
you.
too many people that are everyday
Right.
civilians
You're
that got
welcome.
their panties all in a knot trying to stop stuff that
Thank
they
you.
really don't need to do. It's
Right.
a peaceable demonstration. They
Right.
need to back the hell off.
Shouldn't be using force to try to move us where people can't see speech, right?
It's ridiculous.
Thank
Well,
you.
we're
Even if
only
you don't
here
agree with us, I appreciate you saying that.
We're only here to agree with them.
Right?
I'm making
Yeah.
my sign.
Right? Yeah.
Just agreeing.
Order, but you know there should be like an entire. We're a big enough city to merit an entire organized city.
Right.
But people-
Here, I'll just read this to you, man. Here, criminal trespass defenses. I can. It's called speech. I will. In a building involved in essence the premises were at the time open to members of the public. An actor complied with all lawful conditions imposed on access to or remaining in the premises. Or, so what it says in there is if it's publicly accessible like this is, it's private property. You're right, but it's publicly accessible private property. So that means I don't have to leave. So you guys are again trying to use force. That's fine. You asked me to, but I haven't broken a law. That's called discrimination, right? We have anti-discrimination laws, and that's what this is about, is because you can't just ask anyone to leave unless it's private property and privately accessible. But you're still going to call in force, to have force used against speech, aren't you? That's awesome. That's good ethics. Appreciate it. You guys are on camera representing your company with those wonderful ethics to use force against speech, because it's you guys that made the choice. You called in the force. Remember that. Apparently the cops are real concerned about the use of speech. They're really rushing over here. These characters here don't like speech. They're calling the cops on us. We can't stand here. We got to stand on the sidewalk. They said. This is not publicly accessible, they said. So you guys can stand here, but if you have that sign or a costume, then they're going to ask you to leave.
How about if I have my helmet?
Right?
They were already fine.
Yeah, they asked us to leave, and I just said, well, you're going to have to.
You're gonna have to use force to get us to leave. We ain't doing anything wrong.
I know. Well, I heard the governor's going to be here. Is that who
Right.
you guys
Yeah,
are
that's
to
why
see?
we came here. Figured.
So they said they're going to be at second harvest and here.
No, second harvest at 4.
Here and then
Oh,
go,
at
yeah,
4.
here and then going over there.
He's here
Yeah.
right now.
Good. That's scumbag.
Right.
They're already talking about phase 2.
You know what? If they want us to leave, we should go that way
Well,
because that's where he's going to go.
Right.
Out.
Ironic too that like we're here and like the governor's here and there's like nobody here and that's why they gotta have this security and have us leave. The governor's here. They can't have any bad optics around that. Say, well, obviously the police aren't too concerned. They're only a couple of blocks away and it's been a few minutes. So.
The anti-vaxxers are
Right.
over here harassing us.
Right.
Masks.
Well, yeah, do you want to walk over there?
Where?
It's on the other side there. You want to stay here? All right, we'll walk over there. This must be the press entrance here. Just like the press entrance here.
Yeah, you have the pass for today?
A pass? Not where do you get a pass? Oh, but you don't know where to get it, but I have to have one.
I'm just asking if you had one.
I mean, what is a pass for though? Like, who gives them?
I don't know.
Like, I mean, because I know like Creme. I mean, they have passes, but they just printed them out. It's not like the state gave them to them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, if you want, I can get a piece of paper that says press.
That may work.
I mean, that's what press is, right? So, I mean, how do you, like, can anyone with a camera go in there? Because
hold
we're
on,
press,
hold on.
right? The Gov. That's the other thing about trespassing on public areas. When you have official business, then it really makes it hard because you're not breaking a law. Just trying to help you out, make you look better, man. It looks bad when you're threatening force on people or just use of speech. I know you're just trying to do your job. You've been doing what you've been told to do, but unfortunately, you're taking away the freedoms of other people through the use of force with that. So this is how it works.
I need a close-up. Kind of looks like Graham Beggs, Very well.
Over here.
Everyone that's been invited has made it at capacity.
Oh, so we had to be invited?
I believe so.
Ah, that makes sense. He didn't like me. I don't say nice things about him, so he wouldn't invite me. That makes sense. I mean, the only reason we get word out to people, right, through all the invited, the good guys that say nice things, right? A press conference, right? The guys who are going to say nice things, because that's funny. Not everybody is the press. Here's another thing, just so you guys know. Fordyce versus Seattle. Very interesting ruling. It has to do with recording in public, things like this that I'm doing. It actually, so in the state of Washington, there's a law about recording private conversations, and in that there's an exemption that says anybody that is declared as bona fide press is exempt from that. If you're talking to someone, that you should assume it's being recorded if they're press. Well, in the Fordyce versus Seattle ruling, they actually stated in there the First Amendment makes every citizen the press. So if you're talking to someone, you're talking to the press, so you should assume it's being recorded according to the Washington RCWs. So,
Good to know.
yeah,
Appreciate the information.
no problem, man. Try to educate people every day. Our schools don't do that, so someone's got to.
If anybody, it should be Will, service-connected veteran here. But I don't wear a mask.
You didn't get invited to the press conference either, man?
I was just wondering if we could go in back
Nah, he said-
the proceedings.
He said it's invited. I know you don't have anything to do with that, man. I'm not giving you a hard time about that, dude. It's just funny to me, like, only invited press are welcome. Sorry to make your day so boring the rest of the day, man. Our minder there. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. They gotta have his security detail and everything.
I'm trying to apply that to
Right.
this.
And I understand that. Like, I understand what your job is. Unfortunately, I'm armed with knowledge of the law.
Yeah.
So your job is to come and you don't necessarily determine the law,
Right.
but you determine whether there's probable cause.
Yes.
So I'm trying to inform you that, unfortunately, in this case, if you do decide to do something about it, there won't be any probable cause because we haven't broken. I mean, I can pull out the RCW and read it to you right
And
now.
are you guys planning? Well, I'm familiar with the RCW
Right.
for trespassing. Are you guys planning on staying on like the sidewalks? Or
Wanting to
I mean, right here, yeah,
at
we.
least get the message, which isn't talking to anyone.
Yeah.
Just getting the message silently to those walking in for the vaccine because we don't think it's safe.
and I don't know what their process is here.
Yeah.
Are they mainly coming in through here, or are they coming in
They're
on?
coming.
No, they're
well,
on the
we're
main
standing
ones.
here because that's probably
Yeah,
where
we're
Inslee
hoping
went in,
Inslee's
and that's why
leaving
we're
here. That's why.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, we're
Is
probably.
he in there right now?
Yeah, well,
Wow.
honestly,
With the
we're
press.
probably not going to go back up there because
Okay.
we want to catch him out here. But I
Sure.
can't say for sure, man. I mean, I don't want to be accused of giving you a false statement. No,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, I don't really know where we're going, but
Okay.
Well, and they called you
Like-
because we're trying to clarify why is it that they can
Right.
come in but we can't stand here?
Well, and so security called, and we cleared it. We were coming. I just came
Right.
by to kind of see what your guys'
Right.
plan was. And
One, look, there's two of us. We're harmless. We're just
Yeah, yeah.
silently protesting. Is all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Okay.
I mean, I might walk back there again, but I'm not like trying to cause problems. I'm just trying to do it like I'm just saying, look, you can't use force against us for speech to remove us for trespassing.
Yeah.
That violates the RCW.
And I just hold the sign. I've stayed nothing.
And if I'm like I said, I'm not trying to cause problems for anybody, but
Just make
we
'em
also
think.
have freedom in this
make
country,
'em
and that's
think.
we have to push it. You understand that?
Can't be silent and watch all of our
Uh,
rights go away.
Yeah.
All right. What's your name? Badge number is 558.
Yep. Reynolds.
Reynolds. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You guys have a good day.
You too.
And we ain't do anything funky like block if they try to leave or anything. We're
Nah.
just we got a
Yeah,
sign.
that
No,
would definitely be
slow.
crossing.
Right. We just got a sign, man.
All right.
Thank you.
You too, man. Thanks for being respectful. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
He's coming right now. He's still right now. There you go. Yeah.
Whoa, sidewalk!
That was him in there. Yeah. I'm just going to point out one last time for the record, they said that they can restrict access to this publicly accessible area, and they can, but they have to have it posted. And why aren't they restricting the access of these people and other people that were here? Only if you have a sign. But I didn't see that posted anywhere, that if you have a sign that says you can trust me, you're not allowed. Or if you have a camera recording the person with that sign. Did you see anything like that, Dr. Plague? Dr. Plague says no. We don't have our minders anymore either, man.
Thank you for supporting my work. Independent thought and journalism are under attack. If you want to fight censorship and promote independent thinking and freedom, we need your support. It's not just me. All truth-minded content creators are getting pushed off of the most popular and censorship-loving social media platforms. You can support me by making a donation of cryptocurrency. I have multiple wallets listed in the description of every video. If you still love your international banksters fiat currency, I have links to PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App listed as well. If you're unable to donate in that fashion, consider signing up for LBRY, 3Speak, Hive, Steemit, DTube, or Mines using the links below, and earn some crypto for yourself and me by using my affiliate links. Then, you and I can both be earning decentralized cryptocurrency for you simply watching and interacting with my content.